Hi, welcome to Coffee with Kim, and I am your host, Kim Bassett, and with me today we have Christian Smelich. I am so excited for today. Um, back by popular request, Christian has granted us to this another Coffee with Kim. He was with our group a few weeks ago, our big panel, and there was an overwhelming amount of women who reached out and said, "Oh my gosh, Christian, having a man on that panel was so powerful. And the fact that he focuses on women, it
Yep.
was so powerful." And so we are doing this a little bit different. This is not necessarily live in all of our groups today. Christian's coming obviously from Germany. And I would like to do a little sizzle reel for him so you guys get to introduce a little bit more intimate than you did last time. Today on Coffee with Kim, joining us from Germany is Christian Smelich. Christian is a husband, father, world champion in Korean sword art, as well as a speaker, trainer, and author. By combining his skills in martial art, emotion reading, and leadership, he has created systems and services to help European businesses and impacting thousands of lives. Now he is dedicating his mastery to empowering women around the world to find their true voice. Join me in welcoming Christian to Coffee with Kim.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my goodness. Thank you again for coming on. I know the time difference with Germany and everything that's been going on in your life right now, but to have you come on and really speak to women, and men too, right? Do you also work with men as well, correct?
Well, I do, but focusing on women is what I do because I work with some friends who are also providing seminars that are only focusing on men, and most of them have, let's say, relationship problems. That's something that I've been doing for 8 years. I don't do it usually, but sometimes I help a bit, because the experience is there, and not giving it away would be unfair.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, as I've been watching your lives, right, and your beautiful wife you talk about, but your story starts way back with your mother, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. I would say she's the reason why I do the work. Her true voice. My mother is a very powerful person, although uh, for decades I never experienced her to withstand my father, who was yeah, I mean, he was okay. He was born during the wartime in the war zone between the Germans and the Russians. And I think he had his traumas and the things that he had to carry. I didn't know that for a really long, long time. It would have helped me to know more. But he was very autocratic. He was very directive. So it was somehow difficult to withstand him. And I never saw my mother withstand him. And I realized that this is causing a lot of problems because I see it in society all around. I see it in businesses where we have this, these men who are, I'm the boss, this kind of type, uh, or who are just putting kind of pressure on women, which I think is not necessary. I've never seen that. I mean, I've been working 10 years, 11 years with a hospital where I was an external consultant, doing
Hmm.
Chinese medicine, which is something that I've been doing for 25 years. And every week we had a session. I was there as a guest, and I could see that sometimes the female doctors, for them, it was a huge um, challenge to stand up and to speak and to discuss with them because although in hospitals we have usually, I would say, 80% are women, but they're usually being led by men.
Yes.
Chief doctor and the chief in charge, and um, I often see people who are women who are very powerful, knowledgeable. I had also a doctor there who was taking care of me when I had a problem with my back, and she was fantastic. She was really good. And those, yeah, they were all good. But
Wow.
in the communication, it was different. And in business, I saw that also. So I think there's something that we need to change in the communication between the genders,
Hmm.
and also in how we understand leadership and how we understand that we should cooperate together. And that's something that I'm working on.
No, I love that. What are some of the success stories that you have experienced with this?
Ooh, several. I mean, I've been doing coaching and I've been doing courses. One that I have from the time where I was working with the hospital.
Mhm.
Usually they came with some back pain or whatever. But I took when I realized there's something going on, then I started asking questions, and usually people answered, and then I had some extra work because they really appreciated the coaching questions and what I could do for them. And there was one of the women there, patients there. She was in the family business, and her father was kind of a type who was always putting pressure on her, and she was taking care of him. I mean, the father wasn't in a good shape anymore, and still
Wow.
putting pressure on her. The brothers also, and she was really near, I would say, at the edge of a burnout when she came to me. And I realized the pain that she had didn't have to do anything with her body, but came from her situation.
Mm.
So let's say I was teaching and training her to withstand, to work with questions, to analyze the situations, and then also to say no. Just to say no. If you're
Yep.
speaking with me like that, no. It's like, and sometimes these things were like that. That was like a little bomb because she never did that before.
Yeah.
Um, well, it helped her a lot. It helped her a lot. She found her self-esteem. She regained her health and her strength again, because she used the same techniques also in the communication with her brothers, who they were just using her. I would say abusing her, but they were just using her power, her force. She was around, and that's not okay. It's not okay.
No, it's not. One of the things that I found in working with women, even in my own life, right? We give that power away.
Yeah,
We don't show people and let people know how we want to be treated or how we should be treated. And I don't know if that just stems from, us growing up or as a society, because I consider myself a strong woman, but because of that awareness, I have started recognizing when I give that away.
yeah.
And I do. And I how what are some skills and some tips, just a couple that you use to help women to do that? I just said one, that just being aware of it for me, right, and recognizing that.
It's a bit like pattern recognition, as if you were playing chess. It's pattern recognition. You see some things happening always the same kind of way. And when you recognize, I recognize that pattern, I recognize that behavior, something's going on. That is already very, very helpful. And one of the principles that I use personally also in lives. I mean, sometimes we as men we face the same problems with our bosses or other people.
Yes.
Is just to distinguish between the context and the content. The
Ooh.
content of conversation is what we are doing now, but the context is you are providing with Coffee with Kim some shows. That's the context, the context, right? But what we are talking about is here and now. Women are usually conditioned to, well, first of all, to stand back, to wait, not to speak out loud, and to let the others speak. That's one thing. But
Mhm.
also, they go often into details, and that's the problem. when you were facing too much, I can see your smile. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you're focusing too much on the details, uh, and you start to argue on the level of details with another person, on that gaming field, you have no chance to get control over your conversation. And what if you realize, okay, now someone is trying to manipulate me or to use my power, and then you step one step ahead on another level and say, Christian, as you speak to me like this, my intent, my opinion to that is like that. Or when you use these kind of words, you're trying to push me down. I don't think that's fair, right? You go out of the context of the conversation, of the content of the conversation, into a context level, and then you confront the other person with what the other person is doing. Most of the time, they are not even aware of it, because it also became a pattern.
Yes.
In the beginning, they say, no, that's not true. And say, yeah, but you were using this word. You were using it like that. You were saying it like that. You have to be very aware and open to remember then the sentences and the way someone is using the language, because language is very powerful. Think about hypnosis.
Yes.
I mean, hypnosis is nothing but language. But
Wow.
yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm a clinical hypnotist too. So I
Wow.
work with that with traumatized people, most of the time with women who have been abused or had this kind of experiences. And you're using just the language, the way you speak, the tone,
Okay.
speed, the intensity. Now, what if at a certain moment you realize that the power of your voice is more powerful than the power of a sword? Because the voice is so sharp, so clear, if you know how to use it. You can there's just a song popped up in my head, Billy Joel, who is one of my favorite singers.
Yes, me too.
Oh, okay, then you know that line. She can kill with her smile. She can wound with her eyes, and so on. So these are the small things. He was using that in a song. I don't know if it is what's the rest of it, but there's the things, the way you look at someone. You
Mm-hmm.
can kill someone with your eyes, with the way you look. You can use your tonality, your voice tone, the words you are choosing to hurt someone in a
Mm-hmm.
way they never recover from it.
Oh, I totally agree. In my own experience in life, I have had where I've told people that they have a silver tongue, right? Where they can literally just pierce you and cut you just with their words. And I also have a child who we used to call them laser eyes, because the way they looked at you was like it was lasers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the power of, that's why I call the program Her True Voice. When women find their voice to communicate effectively, using the right language, using the right tonality, using the right way to address people, that are around, because you have people with different kinds of intentions, different kinds of experiences. People who are leaders or so-called leaders quite often just abuse the power of their voices and the power of they're given in a job, but usually they're not leaders. And when you know how to address this kind of people, you regain your power. You regain that, because it's sometimes it's just a question. Sometimes it's just, oh, that's the way you think about me. Um, it of course it all. This is a dangerous game, and it's not a
Mm-hmm.
game, but this is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
because some people don't like that, don't accept that, and I also say you must be aware of that. When you're using this power, you might lose a job, but you might regain clarity, personality, respect, self-respect, and what you want. you don't let anyone enter your personal field, your integrity, or hurt your integrity.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too is our words, right? We say things just kind of without intention and thought, and in doing that, we trigger something in someone else, or they trigger something in us. And I love how we're talking about this subject because it is something that I'm seeing with my customers, with my clients that I'm working with, and in my own life and in my own relationships. So you're really definitely hitting some spots within me as well.
Yeah, I love that you just said that, because this is the bridging the gap to why does someone need, and I really mean that need, to be able to read emotional expressions in the faces. Just to see that. Remember when I said you were smiling? That was just the beginning of just something that started to begin here. It wasn't even a smile. It was just that small reaction that happened. When you see what's going on in the face of another person, it's like like opening a door, and then you realize, oh my God, I think I went too far, or I hurt the person, or I made the person happy, or whatever. I mean, you can see that. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why I, in this training, I'm integrating another training, which usually I have is a single training, is how to read emotional reactions, or how to read emotions, not only in people's faces, but also to hear it, uh, but also what's going on with the body language,
Mm-hmm.
which of course in Zoom is difficult. I mean, you see, I was very much more agitated before than I learned when I learned to be in Zoom. Oh my God, I was more like
Yeah.
that.
It was very uncomfortable for me at first, right? I never would have imagined me doing this because of my own insecurities. But for me, my love for people and wanting to bring people from around the world to have more recognition, to be able to have more people be able to see who's out there that they can connect with, because there was so much of my life in which I wanted someone, I was looking for someone, and I would find a little piece here and a little piece there, and I was looking for that. And so the more we can bring out, the more we can bring people together
Mhm.
with all their varied skills. That's what we need to do. And I feel that what your work is has so much aligned to where my passion and my love is for women, for mothers. Um, and so I'm just grateful, and it's great to have your perspective. You know, I want to come back a little bit, shift gears a little bit to come back to what you said. I had to learn the hard way and many years of hard things, and I'm still practicing because we as women love the details. We want to express everything, and men can't handle it. You have to keep it short, concise, and focused,
Right.
right?
Yes. Now that's the interesting work then, to teach someone to come from the details, to chunk it down as much as possible, but still keeping the emotions in there, and the emotional part of it. Um, I don't want, my program is not designed to create men like women. It's not the idea. I don't want that. I want women to stay authentic. But it's like, as I said, it's like learning a new language. When you know, and as you say, men want to come straight to the point. Our brain is working a bit differently. We have super highways in our brains. We want to collect the information and then go for it. While you are taking all the pieces together, and then you think about it. Okay, what can we do with that? What would be the best thing? And then at a certain point, I hit the point, right? I hit the button. And then at a certain point, you say, oh, I see. These will be the possibilities. In the end, you see much more possibilities than women see, because we see something, we go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is what's happening most of the times. Now, what if you find out, okay, what could be, that's another tip. When you are, let's say, in business, you're a businesswoman, and you're in a job, and you know so many things that you wanted to present. I would say, okay, what is the three most important things about the project or the things you wanted just to present? And then you go back to the two most important things, and then to one. What is it? What is it? Where is your heart hanging? And then you chunk it down. It's similar to the Hollywood rule. You know that, the Hollywood rule? If you want,
No,
oh, okay. I mean, you're in
I
like
should know. My daughter's an actress, but I guess I don't.
now, the Hollywood rule is more for the authors. When you go to the studio and say, listen, I have a book, I have a movie idea. So they say, okay, I have three sentences, two sentences, one sentence, 3 words, 2 words, 1 word. Sometimes the title needs to have 2 words, like Star Wars, but it could also be Star Trek, or it could also be Rambo, or Black Swan. Two
Oh,
words.
wow.
That's how they think, how they create the things. The author comes with a book in his mind, and
Mhm.
then but he only has a few minutes, and then it's okay. You have to chunk it down to 3 sentences, then 2 sentences, one sentence. That's the exercise. 3 words, 2 words, 1 word. A
Man,
very,
this
very
does.
important thing. When you realize, okay, um, that's the most important thing. Let's say, like, let's give me a movie. One of your, oh no, I have one. Patch Adams. You know the movie? Patch
No, I
Adams,
don't.
the
Uh-uh.
first clown doctor. Um, I think you saw that on one of the posts that I made, where I was, doing like
Yeah,
the person that was with Doctor
yeah.
Patch Adams.
Okay,
Um, he is. You have to watch the movie. It's
I
with
will.
Williams, and the movie is 98% accurate, as Patch Adams said. And there's just one single shift in the story they made, which is more Hollywood-like, but the rest is accurate. Um, and Patch Adams is, you cannot say the clown doctor because it's Patch.
Okay.
You cannot say the story of a doctor who became a clown in the hospitals. That would be the big sentence. So what is it? They chunked it down to his name because he, as a person, I mean, this guy is bigger than me, taller than me. Usually, one side of the gray hair is like blue or green, and he has hair like down to the shoulders. He is very provocative, political, but he's a clown. And I've been with him for 1 week in Costa Rica, clowning in hospitals. I mean, who would fly from Europe to Costa Rica just to clown in hospitals? It's like,
Yeah.
but I can tell you something. That was the best week ever I had. Me and my wife, we were laughing the whole time. We went there with the idea to, okay, we are helping people, the patients, bringing laughter to that. But the end was we came out with the gift that they gave us, that we could be there and connect. I didn't speak Spain. I don't speak Spain even until today. So I had to connect on a different level. I was connecting. I have a puppet that is up there somewhere. And,
Uh-huh.
I'm a ventriloquist too, so I was using my
Oh my goodness.
yeah, some things. I was using my puppet to connect with people. I have my tap dance shoes with me. So in certain areas, for example, when I was in the children's hospital or in the mental health hospital, I was wearing my tap dance shoes. And rhythm, for example, is something where you can access people's minds. So like dudum, 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 dudum.
Yeah.
It's like, go to Fred Astaire, who is my favorite. The rhythm is very, very important. So
I
I was
used to tap dance.
you used to tap dance too.
Yeah.
Whenever we meet, we should have our shoes together and do some
I'll
time
have to get
step.
some new ones.
Right. So that's the story of where I met Patch Adams here in Europe. after I saw the movie and after I read his book. But when I saw him and when I saw his person, I realized, oh my God, there's a time in my life where I want to be with him. He went to Russia, to prisons, to areas of where you usually cannot enter, war zones,
Wow.
and yeah, no, he did. Yeah, we saw some of the movies from these places and what they did, and how the laughter and the clowning helped people to overcome severe pain. I remember when they were in Russia somewhere, and or so I don't exactly know if it was Russia or not. Um, but there was a small child, something like 8 or 10 years old, with most of his skin burned, and they had to
Oh,
change they had to change the how do you call that?
the dressings, the
Yeah,
dressings.
no, it's not just the dressing up, but how they control the wounds. So,
Oh,
and the child was crying. I mean, that must have been painful as hell.
oh, yes.
You know? Sorry. Even when just talking about the story hits me. Um, and they came in, Patch and the others, and they were playing music. The partner of Patch Adams, Susan, was there. She was playing the violin, and they were just there. And the girls stopped crying and focused on the music while the doctors were working.
Wow.
So this was we didn't have that kind of patience, but I had there were some severe experiences too that I don't think I can share here because it always takes me out of my comfort zone.
It's okay.
Still cry with that, although
I,
it's 10
you
years.
see me cry on here.
We went into the children's hospital, 30 clowns, invasion.
Wow. I bet they were like, what is this?
Yeah, they knew we were coming, of course, but it was an invasion. And one of them had two suitcases full of with the little play tennis. What's that called? Desk tennis.
Oh, ping pong ball?
Yeah, full with ping pong balls. And while they were walking, he opened the suitcases, and everything the whole room was full of the ping pong balls.
Oh,
I said, okay, I'm just going somewhere where the others are not, and went to the upper floors. There was no one, and suddenly a door opened. They saw me and just come in here. We need you. So, okay, there was a dentist trying, and there was a boy. The boy was lying some on a on a how do you see what it's on a platform like that.
uh-huh.
He was lying there, and he couldn't move. He couldn't move because he was tied
He's
up.
strapped in. Strapped in.
Yes, yes. So, and the dentist tried to work in his mouth, and the boy was crying. I would have cried too.
Oh.
So they brought me in and so that they assigned to me do something. So I was okay. What shall I do? I had my puppet with me. I'll show you my puppet. Wait,
Yes, do.
I'll show you. So, okay, this one here.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Kim. So nice to see you. I was working with that. I was working with
Oh my goodness. You are so good. I've never known this about you. This is incredible.
one of the ideas of this interview, right? So
Yeah.
I was just using the puppet. Come on, and I was using the puppet, but I couldn't speak English there because they speak Spain. But I had these little things, these little tiny tools that you can put in your mouth, and then you can whisper like a bird.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some of the tools that you get in these kind of stores and Play stores and so on that you can
Oh,
put in there.
fun.
It
Uh-huh.
vibrates and in a certain frequency, and it's as if we're speaking like a bird. So I was using
Wow.
that and using the puppet behind the doctor. The doctor didn't know what was going on behind of his back. So I was just using that, but the boy stopped crying. Stop crying. He
Yeah.
focused on me. He stopped crying. He opened his mouth. The doctor could do his work. And that was
Wow.
the first time I realized it doesn't even need the language.
No.
Give them something they can focus on. And the gift that people get, well, I don't think the story is in there, but the gift is The Power of Focus, a book I wrote that you cannot buy. It's only here, and sometimes when I want to gift it, it's not out there. Right. And if you want to get that, send me an email at hertruevoice@gmail.com and ask for The Power of Focus. I will send it to you. It's an ebook.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to be sending you an email.
Okay.
Everyone, Christian, thank you so much. This conversation, this time with you has exceeded any expectation of. I've known you, indirectly. I'm getting to know you more and more. Obviously, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I am so grateful to have you in my life and to share you with those that are in my life. See, I can't even be serious because that's so cute.
Yeah, it's an idea.
But
I really love it.
oh, I mean, thank you. Everyone, look at me. I've been laughing. I've been crying. I've had every range of emotion. And Christian, you are just this soul on earth that is a gift. You're a gift to me. You're a gift to those that you work with. And I'm even more excited, for more conversations and more communication with you, and continuing that relationship. You are just, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say or do to kind of wrap this together?
Stay authentic. Never let anyone hurt your integrity. I have a small story about the sword. You said that. I mean, I've been in 2006. I've been world champion in Korean sword art. We are using the katana, the same sword that the Japanese are using. And the sword has different parts, and one of it is, maybe you know that, in the old ancient times, you were not allowed to touch the sword of a warrior. And this had to do with the materials at that time. When you touched the sword with your fingers, your fingerprint, which has also salt on it, at this place the sword started to rust, to become rusty.
Oh.
So you were touching the most important thing of a warrior, the sword, which was designed to save his life, or of course to take lives. That was at that time the sense of the warrior, to defend or to conquer. But when you touched the sword, the samurai was allowed to take your life. And it's the same thing in life. When someone touches your integrity, it's like as if someone would touch your sword, would touch you in a way you cannot get rid of it anymore. It's like with the language that we were talking about in the beginning, or it's with actions or behaviors, whatever. So there are different kinds of the way someone can hurt you. Never accept that. Stay authentic. Never accept that, and defeat whatever is not right. And
No,
I know for women this is more difficult because men are usually physically stronger. But I can tell you a secret: most of the men are afraid of women because they're so powerful. And you should be aware of the power you have. Never abuse it, but use the power to guide men who need guidance. We need guidance. We need you guys. We need you as women. And I'm honored to have a powerful woman on my side. She doesn't need me. She has her own business. She doesn't need me. She's fantastic. I'm learning from her. And
Wow.
it's so important to have this kind of relationships, maybe in your personal relationship or in business or friends, but have
Yes.
people around you that are empowering you, that are accepting you the way you are. And if
Mhm.
not, get rid of them.
I
I don't have
oh,
any friends,
I agree.
but get rid of them. If they don't empower you or accept you the way you are, I mean, they do not belong in your life.
Yeah. Thank you. That is a beautiful thing to end on, and I don't want to say any more because I just want to leave it right there. Christian, thank you from the bottom of
I
my
thank
heart.
you, Kim, for giving me the power to speak here, the opportunity to use this channel to talk about my story and my uh, idea, where I want to go, what I want to do, and to be such a wonderful host here.
Well,
Thank
thank you. It's my honor. It truly. Everyone, have a wonderful day and stay empowered.